Hello everyone, this is MV broadcasting from Cardiff, Wales, United Kingdom. It is now 6:32 in the evening, which means mountain time. It's just after, well, it's still lunchtime really, isn't it? And a little bit further east, it's probably 2:32. This is MV broadcasting on the tripartite streaming service brought to you by Beatles Eternally and Steve Tate in a league full of Big Clue, John DFW, so I keep saying it, sorry, D. Scott Howard, Robbie Wartburg, Rob Lawrence, PQ Ribber, Todd B. Lawrence, did I say Lawrence already? Yeah, I think I've got everyone here. Right, good. So, another continuation. We sorted out a little administrative challenge, which is from now on we would just be swapping the league file, because as I've correctly identified, just call me Mariano, that we have, when you transfer the league file, it does actually carry over the games that Beatles just played, as I can see, without any need for the BBX. The reason why the league file is needed is because if there are manager changes, if you just put it directly into the BBX, it won't carry over. And we saw that just the other night. So if you are doing manager changes, and I definitely recommend it maybe once a month as a maximum, once in a game month, which is once a week in real time, then that should suffice because of injuries. And I noticed that I had an injury, a significant one, and also I think it was Cleveland, could have been Todd, who had an injury to, maybe it wasn't Todd, it was someone else anyway, who had an injury to Al Simmons. Was Al Simmons called Bucketfoot? Anyway, and luckily it didn't affect yesterday's results, so neither team were at a disadvantage necessarily, so it all worked out swimmingly. I did not play Chickstall, being the British sportsman that I am. I thought I can't play my favourite chickie, and I left him on the bench, where he pretended to be fit, but actually is out until May. If you want to know where to find the injuries, as we've all got the same file now, and that's the league file, which is in the Discord, as it says I've come in now and I've got the ball, so to speak. I've come in from the bullpen. If you want to see the injuries that are clocking up, if you go to teams, that's not it. I just did this. If you go to league, and you go to reports first of all, because logically that's where you would go. Go to league because you're looking at the whole league as opposed to a team, and you'll see injuries. Go to injuries, current injuries. Go to injuries, and you will see that Ted Kluszewski is the latest injury to Cleveland. So Todd B getting a real shellacking, kind of like what we just saw Big Clue get today from Steve Tate's Detroit Coyotes, a shellacking, a beating, a beatdown. Well, Todd's getting a bit of a beatdown with the old injury bug. Not till July, so he's got some work to do. So Todd, if you're out there, if anyone wants to remind Todd, because I saw him last night, to go into Cleveland, make sure changes. I'll put it up on screen. I'm assuming you have got Action PC, but I'll just put yours up on screen so you can see the looming disaster that's looming over your team, because the Big Clue, the real Big Clue, the real major leaguer, is out until July with it should say what he's injured with. I'm sure it does somewhere. In fact, it said it on the report, didn't it? But sometimes it does say it here too. He's injured in a back injury. There it is right in front of me. I can't read. Got a back injury until the 11th of July. So Big Clue, the sleeveless one, is out until July. Around him as well, I do believe there's just another injury. Yeah, Al Simmons is out until the middle of June. So there's some power lost there for Cleveland. That should do them no good. I'll just check Steve's roster and hope for the best. No, hope there's no injuries there. And as you can see, he's got a clean bill of health for now. So, that's where we are. I'll just let everyone settle in. Thank you, Beatles Eternally, for handing over the baton over to myself, Steve Tate. I know you've been busy at work, so we forgive you. You've put so much work into this league, and without you, this league would not happen. Well, it wouldn't happen as well as it has done, and that's for sure. There's no question about that. So we'll let you off. For your reward for your hard work, we've announced you as Manager of the Year. Well, it's really the Manager of May. As you can see, the All-Stars at present, before I get into it, Silver King is the current leader for the All-Star vote for pitcher. Josh Gibson, yes, Manchester's Josh Gibson, who threw out 4 runners last night, by the way. Beatles, you missed that stat. All right. He is a catcher. Mark McGuire, the 70 home run. Mark McGuire's at first. Fred Dunlap, another Detroit person, is at second. Sid Gordon, surprisingly from Big Clue's Jersey squad, is at third base. Robin Yount having a good season at shortstop. Barry Bonds, yet another of those Coyotes. Cleveland's Willie Mays, and despite the injuries to Cleveland, they've got 2 players in the All-Star voting. Giancarlo Stanton from the very, I call it a sleeper team, the Des Moines Blue, I keep calling it Blue Devils, they're actually just Demons. Yeah, Demons. He's doing very well. There's an injury. There is an injury. I just spotted it. So this is what you want to be aware of, because the AI will make some subs based on your depth chart, but you have to actually come in and make one of your players inactive active to maybe to cover him, for example. So like Jesse Tannehill, who was a red bolt of old from the Ned McGreevy League. He is healthy and in AAA. So maybe a good call-up time here for Jesse Tannehill, a pitcher. But I'll let you decide. I'm hoping you have the file as well. And this is to Rob, which I'm definitely sure Rob does. So some changes are afoot. So if you hand in your manager profile, it can go into the main league file, which is now what you're using. BBXs are a thing of the past, I believe, unless something proves me wrong, but I'm pretty confident that we've got the right setup. So that's where we are at the moment. If you give me 2 ticks, we're trying to set up my other screen as I fill in what Beatles calls the dead air. And I have to thank Beatles Eternally and Steve and Big Clue for getting me to do these broadcasts. I was very nervous about my accent, my British, Jamaican, Welsh, fake American accent, which I slip into somehow. I got told I've got the nasal tone, not style, of the guy from the Dodgers. I forgot his name. Legendary guy. I wish I could have his style for real. But welcome into the chat all the same. American accent. Thank you, Big Clue. Let's go, Beatles Eternally says. So impatient. Anyway, here we go. So it's, as you can see, Beatles, it's carried over. The logo's carried over automatically. Despite the fact my file says BBM. Actually, it is your file I'm actually using. You've put your league file is mine. When I save it, I won't change mine until when I send it to you. It'll be the league file I call it, or Steve, and then you just adjust. But it's league files we're swapping. Right, just to make sure, let's go to play, go to scheduled games, and here we go. This is where Beatles left it, May the 3rd. Yeah, that's it, just to double check, because sometimes you have to be so careful with this stuff. So go back a day. Yeah, there's our surprise loss to Badlands. And just to make sure, we saw a beat down earlier. It wasn't Mudville versus Cleveland. It wasn't Hawaii versus Arlington. There's the 2 sleeper teams, by the way. Watch these 2 teams. Oh, here it is. How could I miss it? Box score. Not to dwell on it for long. It was just a nightmare for Big Clue. But Big Clue's only 10-10, so it's early days. And Steve Tate may well grin and laugh and be very happy with himself. Vin Scully, that's it. Vin Scully. Thank you, Beatles Eternally. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, as you well know. I keep saying it because it's true. A man of great kindness, good grace. It's not just kind to me, it's kind to everybody. And if he has a beef, he'll come and say it straight. Which I like about it. Come on, fighting. But what I love about him is that he's given so much fun to so many through the prism of his channel. People have been able to expand their channel, like Steve Tate, myself, Although I'm growing slowly, it's nice to see. Just from a fun point of view. You know, if I had 1 million subscribers, I would obviously not be doing it for fun. I'll be rolling in it, I hope. But that's not going to happen. Well, you never know. But the point is, I'm doing this for fun. I enjoy it. It's a stress reliever. There are other ways to beat stress, but this one is perfectly normal, and I enjoy it. Great fun, great repartee and banter, and stories to tell. It's so much fun. And a welcome surprise, I might add. So, let's get down to it. Got the right one here. There are my struggling Manchester. I cannot play with Manchester. But what I can do, and it's my file at the moment, I'm perfect within my rights to just check it and change my team. If you're all okay with that. I left it, as you know, yesterday. It's now showing the right thing. But what I did notice, it wasn't carrying over the lineups. So that's because, again, we were using BBXs. So, as opposed to the league file. This should have it, I think. So who will we play? We are playing, let's make sure. I can't play the game, so I'm not going to play it. Just make sure it's scheduled right. It is going to be Spud Chandler versus Jack Feaster, another Red Bolt of old. This is not going to be good. This probably is going to be close, and I suspect Des Moines are going to kick our ass. I was wrong. Spud Chandler comes in with the victory. All these night games here. 2-2 he goes to. Jack Feaster goes to 1-1. The box score on this one is 5-1 Red Bolts. Late victory there for us. We tend to come from behind, which is a good. Well, let me choose my words carefully. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hello, Caden Castro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In this league, we have a sleeper teams, and then we have Arlington. Oh, that's funny, Big Clue. Big Clue says, Beatles has built the best community, and why it's the best starts with him. And that is true, Beatles. Wipe your eyes with your tears. And the tone he sets for everyone, absolutely, Beatles. Do not underestimate that. We're all intelligent people. Well, most of us are. But to bring this community together, it takes something. That's leadership in itself. And I'm sure we're all leaders in our own right, in our own fields. But it's great. You contain all of our egos. And we have a great fun. And it's, you know, you put a lot of effort into your community. When I joined it, not even a year ago, you know, it was just a lovely channel. I could see it from a distance. I was looking through the window thinking, I wonder if you'll let me in. And you did. And that's not to say people like Dave Little didn't, or Chris Slovic, or Al Red Sox fan. They all did the same. But yours, I just found a home there as well. Not to say I'm not welcome elsewhere, because I am very much welcome elsewhere. But I just found my home. So I definitely say that that's excellent. I suspect that everyone else has done the same. Yeah, so welcome Ken Castro. So here we go. Just looking at that lineup that we just saw, this thing here just now, just in case Rob comes in, not to be confused with Robbie Wartburg, the erstwhile owner, manager, AI genius of Arlington. You can see here, just having a quick look, Josh Gibson yet again. Joe Morgan seems to be hovering around the 220. There's my Tommy Tucker. Going 0 for 5, so he's cooled off quite a bit. Singleton came in to pinch hit. This is where my weakness will be now. Bob Hazel, for some reason, is showing 0.91. I don't know where that's come from. Sherry McGee got a go. Mantle, Rodriguez, Fielder got a go. So not much hitting there for us. Only 9 hits. Des Moines. Those averages look really low all of a sudden, to be honest with you. Let's check that out. Let's make sure the file is absolutely correct. Just go back into, I know my team the most, so it should be easy to spot. Yep, that looks right. That's absolutely right. We're just not batting as well as we were. That's what happens when you take out Cheeky Star. Here we go, scheduled league game. Let's continue before we get into the ball game. Detroit, Arlington. Well, there's no point watching that one, is there? Oh. Arlington beat Detroit. whoa. I can't be biased. I should not be biased. But well done, Robbie Wartburg. Brett Saberhagen, who is a real ace for Detroit, taken down by Hippo Vaughn. Look at that. So finally, life in Arlington. The Texas size beating they got down is a thing of the past. Honus Wagner 2 for 4. Rogers Hornsby just getting a little bit of a bat. So was he injured? No, he walked twice. Greenberg's bat's beginning to wake up ever so slowly. Dave Orr, a 19th century phenom, according to Ken Castro, seems to do very well. Jimmy Williams, even though the first name's now Ken, that's amazing. Thank you very much. Eric Davis, I think he's overmatched at this league. Salvador Perez, by the way, is a power threat, no question. I don't know who Bigby is. Is that Jim Bigby or is that Jim Badby? Bigby, I do not know. For the flying Detroit Coyotes, not a bad hitting performance, although Joe D had 1 walk in 4 attempts at bat, or 5 attempts at bat. So they got taken down. And it was a late surge by Arlington. And they can do that to you because with Rogers Hornsby and Honus Wagner in there, that's just 2 players, but they are good. For Arlington, and I saw Hippo Vaughan get us beaten the other day, he's 2 for 3. But he had his A game today. There you go. So now we move on to another one. Mudville versus Badlands we could do, but we want a marquee matchup. Ali Reynolds versus Smoky Joe Wood. We'll auto that one, shall we? Let's get it ball rolling. Cleveland now on top of North Sound. These 2 teams evenly matched, I think. And here we go. Wood has won the game. He gets a 1 win in his win column. Ali Reynolds takes the loss, the chief. So it's tight league at the moment, very tight league. Most people at 500 or just under or just over. So that leaves Mudville versus Badlands, PQ Rivers Alexander versus Rhines, or we look to the next day, see if we see something else. Tanana versus Lincecum, Gooden versus Blue, that should be good. Koufax versus McQuillan, Alexander Rhines again, Marshall Cooper. So, any takers for Mudville? Yes, it's got to be Mudville. Do you want to play Mudvilles? I think so. Mudville, here we go. So here we go, Mudville playing at the Sentimentals. Just want to check something here. I wanted to get out of this. So Beatles Eternalist team. Beatles, what lineup do you go with? I can't get out of it. Pete Alexander, that's who you're supposed to be. Versus Billy Rhines, I get it. So Beatles Eternally, Billy Rhines is a right-hander, so hopefully... See, now everyone can save their lineups and it will stick. Because we've got the main file. So if you could all go in and do your versus right and versus left and save it, that's all good. Or... as I do, I tend to look at the depth lineup if it's not that clear. But I'll press computer versus right. Straight away, I can see who he normally plays already. Doesn't make sense because I know Ty Cobb's not in there. But if I load up versus right, there's no asterisks. But let's see if that does something slightly different. It does. So that looks more like Beatles' team. I've gotten used to it. Is there a change, Beatles Eternally? You're in the chat. You don't platoon MV, so he's not a believer in platooning like I am. That looks good, Beatles. Would you just give me a thumbs up or a finger up or whatever? A hand up, a pink hand or whatever, just to make me aware. Lloyd is higher RC than Fox. But does Beatles want to change? Yes, that's it, Beatles. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. So here we go. Pitcher is going to be... Who's your pitcher, Beatles? It should be Pete Alexander. Yep. So Beatles Eternally is set and good to go. Here we go, everybody. Here's the ball game. So on this broadcast, I apologize if I said finger up. I'm so used to putting 5 fingers up. It came out the wrong way, as I've been doing for the past couple of days. It must be tiredness. Apologies. So here we go. This is at the Baker Bowl, but that looks like Camden Fields. So what's happened is, because I've changed the file, it hasn't picked up my latest version. So you have to excuse me. I'm going to play it. This is actually at the Baker Bowl. Just to give you the dimensions, this will be, it has a massive home run effect at the Baker Bowl, 150%. If I exit this, I can set the field, but I'll leave it. Yeah, we need a Baker Bowl. I did have one, but actually maybe I didn't. So don't play with the sentimental boys that much, because I just don't. So maybe I didn't put a picture in, but that's okay. So welcome to the Baker Bowl for tonight's game between Mudville and Badlands. Mudville, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, Mudville's GM, Beatles Eternally, was ridiculed for his choice of Wally Bachman in the Ned McGreevy, in the version 1 of the Howie Shanks. But despite doing his best "aw shucks" act, we all knew that was sleight of hand from Beatles. He's really buckled down and put together a great squad. So Mudville has won 9 of their last 10. Talk about a hot team. Badlands has just won 2 of their last 10. Pete Alexander starts from Mudville, that crafty pitcher. He has made 4 starts in the year. He's 3-1 with an ERA of 3.99. I'm sure old Pete will want to lower that one. His first start against Badlands. He will be opposed by Billy Rhines for Badlands. He has made 4 starts, that's Billy, on the year, and is 0-3 with an impressive 9.39 ERA not. His first start against Mudville, it's 81 degrees. The Sentimentals looking to improve their record from 6-13. And Mudville looking to stay close to the streaking Detroit Coyotes. So, a quick change of park layout, as Beatles has shown me how to do this. It will take me 1 sec. So because we've changed the files, I just have to reset everything just very quickly. Beatles show me that little trick, neat little trick. Thank you, Beatles. I do watch your tutorials. This will take a second to set up. I should have checked this before, but I didn't realize it would mess it up. Just a quick moving around of the field. Locations. Now we'll take 2 seconds to do so. The umpire's looking around, checking everybody's ready. It's a calm evening here at Badlands. I'd like to see that. Nice to see they picked up the night. That bit's correct. Lots of home runs expected today. Watch out for those homers flying out the park. We do like to see home runs. We saw quite a few last night. We definitely saw a few today in Detroit. We've also seen Detroit lose today in the sim. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're about to start. Everything's set. The umpires are ready. Pitcher climbs the mound. Billy Rhines is ready. Everybody's ready. Let's play ball. So now take a look at Badlands as they take the field. Yogi Berra behind the plate with a decent catching range of 9 and a 6 arm. At first base is another Yankee, Lou Gehrig, but I think this is a late Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig from, he's 31 years old, 34. So he still had 5 more seasons before he finished. Bobby Richardson, yet another Yankee, at second base. Then Rogelio Valdez, a Negro leaguer at short. At third base, Chris Bryant, I saw him lick a home run last night against my beloved Red Bolts. In left field, Turkey Mike Donlin, who I believe was an actor, according to Beatles Eternally. Center field is Cool Papa Bell. Beatles are saying he's too high up. I'll leave it there for a minute. You know better. I've already moved him, so I'm assuming I've watched an old one. Old comment. And in right field is Charlie Hustle himself, Pete Rose. So here we go. Willie Keeler will lead off for Mudville. Wee Willie Keeler is on a 7-game hitting streak. A piece of genius by Beatles to move him into DH position and move Foster to center field. Here we go. Ryans versus Keeler. Here's the 1-2. And Wee Willie hits it to right field, but Pete Rose has it one away. That brings up Ty Cobb. Cobb's been relatively good lately. He's moved his average up. I expect that from Ty Cobb. He's on a recent streak. Cobb comes in batting .284, 1 home run, 48 RBIs this early in the season. Ryan's into his motion. Barra sets the sign. Here's the 0-2 from Ryan's. Bryant has it, and he beats Ty Cobb. Gehrig just stretched out to beat the flying Cobb. Coming to the plate is Beatles' latest fantasy, Pop Lloyd. Pop Lloyd was a substitute pick, really, because the one he really wanted was Honus Wagner. But the black Honus Wagner, Pop Lloyd, Negro Leaguer, the best Negro League shortstop of all time, is at the plate. He's batting .402 with 23 RBI. Here we go. Yeah, those typos have got me for the last couple of days, Beatles. So Pop Lloyd waits. First pitch, up the middle, base hit for Pop Lloyd. So Pop Lloyd continues to hit well for the Mudville Nines. Brings up Double X Jimmy Fox batting .311. Ryans looks in. There goes Pop Lloyd. Barra down to Richardson. And Lloyd has a stolen base for the Mudville Nines. This is how Mudville does it. Fox steps out of the box. Looks imposingly around the field. Is he going to call a shot? I got a feeling he is. Lloyd at second. Ryans keeps an eye on him. Here's the 0-1. And Fox laces it up the middle. Bell will have it. Bell is going to throw, and he won't throw. And straight just like that, Pop Lloyd comes home, single. And the Mudville Nines continue to surprise. 1-0. All eyes have been on Steve Tate's Cleveland Coyotes. But the team to watch is actually Mudville. Here's Babe Ruth coming in. Ruth, disappointingly, batting .237. Only has 9 RBIs. What's wrong with the Bambino? 2 out here in the top of the first inning. And Ruth has a swing and a miss. Ruth takes a seat. And that's the end of the inning. After 1.5 inning, Mudville takes the lead. Badlands coming to bat. As Big Clue says, Badlands is a great example here. So many all-time greats in that lineup. But in this league, Gehrig is the only one that truly scares me as an opponent. I have to agree. Leading off for Badlands is Cool Papa Bell. Pete Alexander is on the hill. He's pitched 38 innings, giving up 46 hits, 14 strikeouts, with a 3.99 ERA. Here's Bell from the left-hand side, batting .260. Here's the pitch. The 2-2 is flying out to center field, and George Foster will catch it, and that's 1 away. Brings up Pete Rose, now batting .310. Alexander into his windup. Molina puts a sign down. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Pete Rose, straight to Davy Johnson, who gets it across the Fox. That's 2 away. Davy Johnson, an excellent picker from the Baltimore Orioles. Gold Glove second baseman, future manager of the Mets. Pop Lloyd is a 10 as well, so Beatles has put together some good interior defense here. Backed up by Yadi at catcher. Here's Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, batting .284 with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. Here's the 1-0 to Gehrig, and that's hit high and wide and deep and out of here. The Iron Horse takes it out of here, 366 feet. His 5th home run of the season. Ty Cobb could only look up and wish he caught that flight to Barcelona. That one is gone. Brings up Aaron Judge, and that's what Badlands can do. They can smack the ball out of the park. So the score is 1-1, 2 out. Here's the first time pitch to Judge. Straight at Jimmy Fox, who takes it to the bag, and that is the end of the inning. The score is tied 1-1 after one complete. Mudville 1, Badlands 1. Brings up George Foster now, leading off the second inning for Mudville. Ryan's going into his work with the 0-2. Foster hits it high and deep, but Cool Papa Bell has it in center field. That's an easy little jog for Cool Papa. One of the fastest men of all time, if not the fastest. I think it was Muhammad Ali that stole the line. I go into my bedroom, go to bed, and get into bed before I turn off the light. I think that's fast. Here's Billy Rhines. Someone like Ken Castro can tell us about Billy Rhines. Billy Rhines coming from 1896. He's in the Baker Bowl. That's his hometown. So he should pitch pretty well. This could be a close one, folks. Here's Darrell Evans, Mr. Feast or Famine for Beatles Mudville. 1 out. And he walks him. So Rhines lost Evans. Billy Rhines on the season hasn't started too well, actually. But he's coming from a season where he had 8 wins and 6 losses. Here's Davey Johnson, one of the weaker bats in the lineup. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Davey. Davey hits it high, deep. It could be... No, Turkey Mike has it at the running track. In this specially converted Baker Bowl. There's no Lifebuoy sign in right field. You just have to imagine it. Need an overnight renovation. Here's Yadi. Yadi comes in batting .271 with 1 home run and 8 RBI. Ryans goes into his motion. Here's the 0-1. And Yadi hits this high in the air, but Cool Papa going back and puts his glove up and makes a great play. He makes the great plays look so simple. Yeah, Beatles internally is saying, let's have a look. No offense to anyone, we draft the best player we can find in the random. Well, let's go back a little bit more. Big Clue says, Bell and Rose will single you to death. Judge and Bryant are whiff machines. I'd have to agree. Barrett and Donlin, this is his appraisal, by the way, of Badlands, are good hitters, but not OP. And the other two are zeros in this league offensively. A bit harsh. Big Clue continues with his appraisal. You can't have holes in your lineup facing the Pete Alexanders of the world. And Big Clue weighs it even further. No offense to anyone, we draft the best player we can find in the league. Random year we're assigned. That's the challenge. And he continues. Todd and I sort of ran away with it in the first version. Did you? I think I came third. Look at both our teams in this version. It's just how things shake out. Yeah, except for Steve, who still managed to get Mike Scott, Dwight Gooden, and Bob Gibson. Oh, and Barry Bonds. Oh, and Hank Aaron. Have I missed anyone? I'm sure I have. Mark McGuire. Oh, yes, 70 home run Mark McGuire. Sometimes the luck is on their side. Beatles Channel, which is why I do love this league. So do I, Beatles. It taught me a lot about players I thought I knew. I have to say, my baseball education has gone through the roof with this version as well as the dead ball. Of 19th century players I have a great appreciation of. I really do. I never thought I would. Clue continues with his lengthy appraisal. Even if everyone is making optimal decisions, it's still a tight league and everything goes. You could play the league 10 times and get 10 different winners. Or close to it. Well, probably except Arlington. But yes, you're right. So much fun. And Beatles continues, I'd love to see others take this idea and try it. Season replays are fine, but leagues like this really challenge. I have to agree. Though my knowledge is nowhere near you guys, I've definitely upped it by watching what you do. Stepping into the plate now is stepping up to the plate, Chris Bryant. 284, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. This is 2015, Chris Bryant. He waits as the crafty Alexander goes into his motion. Here's the 0-2, and Pete strikes him out. First strikeout of the day for Pete Alexander. One away. Bottom of the second. Here's Yogi Berra. It ain't over till it's over. It's the 0-2 to Yogi, and Yogi hits this to the right field. Ty Cobb drifts in, pounds his glove, and he's got that one. 2 away. Ty Cobb looking very smart there, with his collars up. Standing all alone in right field. Here's Turkey Mike Donnelly now, batting 284, man I've gotten to know from the Dead Ball League. Alexander waits for Molina. Molina puts a sign down. Here's the 2-1. Donlin drives this, but not. Yes, he gets it over Pop Lloyd's leap. Lloyd's not a small man, a big man. Did athletic leap there, but he couldn't come down with it. Ruth had to pick it up behind him, a man who's not so athletic. So Donlin's on first, a chance to steal. And here comes a very little known Rogelio Valdez, a man created by Steve Tate, a man who did exist, Negro Leaguer. One of 3 that each team could have. He's on his 8th consecutive day played. He may be a little bit tired. He's coming from the right-hand side. Alexander with 2 out. Looks at the ball. Very nonchalant on the mound. Toes the rubber now. Molina puts a sign down. Here comes it. No, Alexander over to first to try and catch out Donlin. Doesn't get him. So routine starts all over for Pete. What a wily pitcher is, Hall of Famer. Valdez waits. Here's the pitch, the 1-0. And that gets away from Molina. And it's a pass ball. And Turkey Mike will skate to second. So back with the ball is Alexander now as he looks behind him at Donlin. 23% chance of a hit for Valdez. Here's the pitch, 2-0 pitch. Valdez hits this high to left field. Ruth's going back, and look at Babe Ruth. Chicken legs turning, catches it in the track. And that's the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 2 complete. Mudville 1, Badlands 1. Yeah. No, great fun in the league. Here we go. Billy Ryan's Willie Wee Killer. Keeler, fly to shallow right, is on a 7-game hitting streak. Ryan's into the motion. Here's an 0-2. Keeler hits it deep, but Cool Papa has it. And that is the end of Willie Keeler. He sits down. Bring it up for the left-hand side, Ty Cobb. He's 0 for 1 today. Here's Ryan's into his motion. Here's the 0-2. Cobb dribbles it down to first base. Garrick has it. Will step on the bag, and Cobb is out. Garrick gave Cobb a sideways glance there as Cobb extended his boots in the direction of Garrick's left shin. A few words uttered there by Garrick. Not a man to say too much. Cobb just has a wry smile as he returns to Mudville's bench. Here's Pop Lloyd, the man of the moment, 1 for 1 today. He lined a single to right center in the first. Here's Ryan's into his motion. Here's the 1-0-1. And that's laced into right field. Pop Lloyd is a hitting machine. Wow, where did he come from? The Negro Leagues. We're fortunate today to see 2 great Negro Leaguers, 3 great Negro Leaguers. Cool Papa Bellin out there for Badlands. We've got Rodrigo Valdez. Little known, great shortstop. Not as good as Willie the Devil Wells, who plays for Jersey. And now we've got Pop Lloyd. I think Oscar Charleston plays for Hawaii. Josh Gibson plays for Manchester. And Satchel Paige didn't get drafted. Thank you, Robbie Wartburg. Here's Jimmy Fox, 1 for 1. Throw over to first to try and get Lloyd. Lloyd dies under the tag. He's safe. Here's the pitch, and Berra is going to throw down to Lloyd, and Lloyd gets him. Lloyd gets in there. Richardson a bit slow. So Lloyd on second. Here come the Mudville Nines. Man in scoring position, but 2 out. Fox waits. He's got a big chance of a big hit. Ryan's into his motion. Here's the 1-0. Fox lifts this to right field. Pete Rose has a beat on it, and that's the end of the inning. So the end of the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 2.5. I should say. Mudville 1, Badlands 1. Bottom of this. Let's see what inning we're in now. Bottom of the third inning. Leading off is Bobby Richardson. Not a man I'm impressed with. Alexander with the 0-1, and that's hit foul. Bobby Richardson, a regular man for the Yankees in the 60s, early 60s. Wasn't a great on-base man. Alexander goes into his windup. Here's the 0-2. And that is laced into left field as Bobby Richardson sticks two fingers up at the press box. He is safe at first. Richardson a threat to steal for Badlands. And here's Pete Alexander. Not a threat to bunt, I don't think. Kupapa hits it down the line to Evans. Evans will throw out Kupapa Bell. And nice backhanded play by Darrell Evans at third. Tight ball game already. Alexander goes into his motion. Rose waits. He's batting 306. And that's laced to center field. Foster should have this. And that's the end of Pete Rose. Richardson will stay at second. Bringing up the Iron Horse. He hit a solo home run to right center in the first. Here we go. Alexander goes into his motion. Here's the 3-2. And Gehrig laces it straight at Darrell Evans at third. End of the inning. No runs, one hit, no errors. Mudville 1. Badlands 1 will go to the top of the fourth inning. Leading off is the Bambino. Curiously, very quiet start to the season. Didn't have the best of Aprils. Let's have a look at the Babe. Hey? He's played all of his games on the road. None at home. Is that right? That cannot be right. Replay, that's right. Well, maybe they don't accumulate all of his stats yet. Maybe that's what it is. That looks correct. Strange. Maybe it hasn't totaled this up until the end of the season. It's not showing his correct stats yet for the monthly breakdown. Here we go. Here's Babe Ruth. And Ruth is walked to first, so the Bambino gets on. Still not showing his big bat. Here's George Foster. I think there's a bit of a hole in the lineup here for Beatles. Batting 232, 3 home runs, 10 RBI. Flied out to deep left center in the first. Big chance of some runs here, though. Here's the pitch. Foster lines it down to first. Gehrig has it. Ruth will get to second. So 1 away. Brings up feast or famine. Darrell Evans batting 192. He walked in the second, coming in from the left-hand side. Ryans gets into his work. And struck out Darrell Evans, proving my point. He's feast or famine. 2 out now for Mudville at top of the fourth inning. Babe Ruth on second. Score is tied 1-1. Barrett puts a sign down to Ryans. Ryans is ready. He kicks and deals to Johnson. And Davy Johnson dribbles us to Ryans. Ryans mishandles it. And Ruth will get to third. And Johnson will stay at first. Error to Billy Ryans. Hit him off the chest. This brings up Yadi and Molina now. So all of a sudden, Mudville threatening, but they have got 2 out. Here's the pitch. Here's the 3-0 from Ryans, and he loses Yadi. So bases full of 9s. Brings up Wee Willie Keeler on a 7-game hitting streak, I think it is. He was. Flied out to shallow right, fly to shallow left center. Wee Willie Keeler. DH for Beatles, batting from the left. Righty versus lefty. Ryans into his work. Here's the 2-2. And Keeler up the middle. Richardson fields it, but he won't get it. And the pressure of Keeler coming up to first got Richardson. Second straight error for Badlands, who are playing bad man. And a run will score. Keeler is safe at first. And the run scores. Wow. 2-1 Mudville. Here's Ty Cobb batting 0 for 2. He's due. Ground to first. Keeler at second. Keeler at first. Molina at second. Johnson at third. Score is Mudville 2-1 over Badlands. Ryan's into his motion. Here's the 0-1. Cobb up the middle. Base hit. Johnson will score. Molina looking to come round. He scores. And Mudville have broken the game open here in the fourth. They lead 4-1. Nice base hit for Ty Cobb. Brings up their hitting machine and superstar. Pop Lloyd, 2 for 2. Steps in. He's had 2 steals today. Ryan's not looking too good at the moment. Lloyd waits. Ryan's into his motion. Here's the 1-1 to Pop Lloyd. He'll fly this out for an easy fly-out catch to Mike Donlin. But the damage is done. 3 runs from Mudville off of 1 hit. There's 2 errors made by Badlands. After 3.5 innings, Mudville 4, Badlands 1. Pete Alexander comes in with a hint of a smile. As Aaron Judge steps to the plate, he's batting .243 with 3 home runs, 9 RBI. He grounded to first in the first. Alexander into his windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's laced to left field. So a little Texas Leaguer there, I think they call it, into left field. And Aaron Judge is on first. That's a bloop single, I know that much. Brings up Chris Bryant 0 for 1, so Badlands trying to get something going here. Here's Pete with the 0-1, and there's a base hit to left field again. So now Badlands have something cooking. Here's Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra coming from. He's the catcher, left-hand catcher, looking tired. He's had 8 consecutive days. This is a 1951 Yogi, only 26 years old, the beloved Yogi Berra. Up against the crafty Pete Alexander. Molina puts a sign down. Pete goes into his motion. Here's the first pitch to Berra. Berra laces to Pop Lloyd. Lloyd has it. And that's an out. One away. Brings up Turkey Mike Donlin, a name we've heard a few times now from the Ned McGreevy. Till this point, I think he's one of the few that have played in all 3 leagues. Beatles, please correct me. I'm trying, Beatles, I'm trying. Here we go. Donlin waits. Alexander's ready. Kicks and deals. And Donlin lunges to right field. Cobb is going back. But at the fence, he catches him. He will throw that to third. Judge lumbers to third, and an error by Evans. And that error is going to cost us. Judge will scamper home. So, on the error there by Ty Cobb, throwing off target to Evans. Evans couldn't handle it. Judge saw the opportunity and got home. So a run comes in. The crowd in right field jeering Ty Cobb as he goes back to his mark. Brings up Rodrigo Valdez. So Badlands still staying in the game here. It's only the 4th inning. Here's Pete with the pitch. Valdez gets it to right field. That's down. Bryant looking to come home against Ty Cobb. And Bryant scores. So they put up a 2 spot here so far. This is brilliant. And Badlands now coming back against Mudville. I don't think Beatles Eternal is too worried. This is Pete Alexander on the mound, his ace. Valdez at first. Bobby Richardson 1 for 1 at the plate. Bobby lined a single between third and short. Alexander visits Valdez at first. Valdez slides under the tag. Fox puts a hard tag on him. Rodrigo Valdez, a Negro League, he gets up and dusts his uniform down. Badlands showing some fight here. Alexander into his extravagant winder. And Richardson down the line to Evans. They could have 2. No, they don't. Evans held on to the ball. That's inexplicable. I don't know why Pete went to extravagant windup, because he had a man on first. Took his chances. Bobby Richardson with an infield hit. Brings up Cool Papa Bell on Ignite if there ever was one. 0 for 2 today. Batting .253. He's a lefty. He switched around. And Alexander dribbles that to Fox. Fox goes back to the bag. Runners advance. And to no avail. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. After 4 innings, Mudville 4, Badlands 3. So Badlands need a couple of good innings here from Billy Rines to keep away this devastating offense from Beatles Eternal is Mudville 9s. Jimmy Fox steps in, 1 for 2 today. Yeah, Mike Donlin, I thought so, had stayed in the league. All 3 leagues. Here's Jimmy Fox. Up the middle, Valdez has it. Over to Garrick, 1 away. No, error. Error again. Bad throw from Valdez on an easy play. Went past Garrick. So Jimmy Fox is at second. We've seen a couple of errors today. Brings up Babe Ruth. Let's see Babe. Come on, Babe. Babe's been very disappointing when I've seen him on the broadcast. Babe now waits. Here's the 1-1, and they won't pitch to him. So what? Ruth walks to first. 2-1 for the Mudville 9s. They lead by 1 run. 4-3. Badlands trying to keep it in check. They've just scored a couple of runs to bring themselves back into the ballgame. Mudville looking to go to 13-8 and be up front now with Steve Tate's Detroit Coyotes, who lead the league. I think Mudville 9s are everyone's secret second team. Here's a sign from Berra, and Foster is walked. So now the Mudville 9s have 3 men on board, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. Here comes Feast or Famine, Darrell Evans. Batting 189. Billy Ryan's 19th century player. 19th century players can be hit or miss, particularly hit the pitchers. I find that the batsmen, that's cricket, the batters, or the hitters, they tend to do much better than the actual pitchers. Not sure why that is, other than the ballpark year chosen. And this is Baker Bowl 1913, so it's not too far away from Billy Ryan's wheelhouse. He's had 5 walks today. Evans waits patiently as Barrett puts a sign down. Ryan's kicks and fires. No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. Barrett wants to talk to him. Now he kicks and fires. And it's line down the first. Garrick has it. Look for the tag of Foster, who got back to base. And that's 1 away. Brings up Davey Johnson now, 0 for 2. Here's the 0-2 to Johnson. Johnson lifts this to right field. Rose taps his glove, and he has it in right field. But the run will score. That lazy fly ball scored Jimmy Fox. Rose did not throw. And this kind of backs up what Big Clue was saying. This is an all-star league, and everywhere you look around, Badlands are all-stars. But this is a league of all-stars. So what is the standard deviation in this league? Well, the proof is in the fact that Detroit and Mudville so far, and Hawaii, were just that little bit better. There's Yadier Molina. Molina hits this into short. Valdez has it to Richardson. Richardson tries from double play. No, he doesn't. Foster went in there, but don't need to double play. Although Foster was charging into second. And that's the end of the inning. End of the inning. 1 run, no hits, 1 error. After 4.5 innings, Mudville 5, Badlands 3. Badlands trying to come into it. They have the offense. They're leading off with Charlie Hustle. And Charlie Hustle struck out. Very rare. So Pete has his second strikeout. Brings up Lou Gehrig, 1 for 2. Ball 4. Gehrig will now go to first. And that brings up Aaron Judge, who scored in the last inning. He grounded to first in the first. Single between third and short in the fourth. Alexander gets his sign from Molina. And Judge laces this to third. A nice play by Darrell Evans. Great diving catch by Darrell Evans as he tumbles to the turf. What a play at third. Made an error in the last inning and then produces that. Feast or famine with Darrell Evans. There's Pete Alexander now. As Chris Bryant steps in, 1 for 2. Lined a single between third and short in the fourth. And here comes the pitch. No, Gehrig going. And Bryant pops it up to Ruth. And that's the end of the inning. Quick one. No runs, no errors, no hits, no errors. 5 complete. Mudville 5, Badlands 3. We're getting down to bullpen territory. As Ryans is now towing the rubber, and Willie Keeler steps in. 0 for 3. Here's the 0-2 to Keeler. Keeler strumps into left field. And Keeler extends his hitting streak. Wee Willie, a threat to steal on first. Brings up Ty Cobb. Lots of boos as Cobb comes to the plate. He digs in. One man on, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Rhines over to first. Keeler is back safely. Always a threat to steal. I feel like something's going to happen on this play. Either a steal or a hit. Rhines up to 100 pitches. Here's the pitch. There goes Keeler. And I was correct. Wee Willie Keeler steals second base without a throw. Berra looks in disgust at Rhines. I get the feeling there's not much cohesion with these Badlands. Kind of remind me of Arlington. Here is Ty Cobb, 1 for 3. Cobb waits, a 30% chance of a hit. Cobb bunts it, and Richardson and Berra combine, and that's out. But Keeler is at third. Runner really close to home now. Bringing up the ever-hot, white-hot Pop Lloyd. Lloyd waits. Berra puts a sign down. Rhines delivers and strikes out Pop Lloyd. So Ryan's hanging in tough at the moment. It's only 5 to 3. Runner still at third. Keeler to steal home. We've not seen a steal of home since the Ned McGreevy League. Here we go. Rhines versus Fox. Fox batted .312. Grounded to short the last inning. He was safe on an error. Here's the pitch. No, they put him on. So Berra and Rhines decided to put Fox on. That's on the orders of PQ Ribber. Here's Babe Ruth. So they've walked Fox to get to Babe Ruth. Really? Let's see how that works out. Babe Ruth waits patiently. Ruth not set the league alight yet. Here's the 2-2 to the Babe, and he strikes it to right field. Here comes Willie Keeler home, and Babe Ruth comes in with a base hit. Something still not quite right with the Babe, but he drives the run home. Brings up George Foster. 229, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. George walked the last inning up. Ryan's still in there, 122 pitches. Here's the 3-2, and he walks George Foster. So bases loaded, full of 9s. 7 walks for Billy Rhines. Stepping up now is Feast or Famine himself. Darrell Evans, 187, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs. I suspect he's going to sit down or walk. Ryan's in motion. Here's the 3-2. And I was right. He walks. And Fox comes home. Mudville got up 7 to 3. I was just looking at the statistics there with Darrell Evans. I could sense it. Here is Davy Johnson, 0 for 2. Ryan's has lost control completely. It's a song by the Joy Division. Control. Davy Johnson waits. Berra is coming out to talk to Rhines. Here's the pitch. Johnson up the middle, base hit. Babe Ruth will come home. Foster looking to come on the throw by Bell. And he's safe. 9 to 3 Mudville. This carefully constructed, almost secretively done with German-like precision by Beatles Eternally. Wow. Brings up Yadier Molina 0 for 2. Weird move indeed. Here's the pitch to Molina. Molina down the line to Valdez. Valdez has it. Garrick has it at first. So, 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors. After 5.5, Mudville 9, Badlands 3. So welcome everybody that's been in the channel so far and dipping out, dipping in. And if you're seeing it later on today, Mudville are putting a beating on the Sentimentals. There's nothing sentimental about a Mudville beatdown. Here's Alexander now. With a 2-1 to Yogi. And that's hit down the right field line. Foul. Yogi waits for Alexander. Pitching a crafty game as usual. Here's the 2-2 from Grover Pete. Up the middle. Base hit from Yogi. So Yogi Berra's been disappointing so far. Some of these Yankees are not performing, that's all. Here's Turkey Mike Donnelly. 1 for 2 today. Batting on the left-hand side. 290 hitter. Fly to deep. Down the deep right field line in the 4th. Here's Alexander. Kicks and deals. Here's a 2-0. And that's driven to right field by Mike Donlin. Not a strong hit, but enough to evade Johnson and Cobb. Johnson looks behind him. You can see Yogi Berra. Rodrigo Valdez at the plate. Mudville trying to contain this lead. They have a healthy lead. And Badlands looking to come back. Here's Valdez, a 279 hitter. Molina will come out to him and talk to Alexander. They have a plan. They're ready. Here we go. And Valdez hits it straight at Jimmy Fox at first. 1 away. The fans are giving Badlands the bird. Bobby Richardson's had a good day today. 2 for 2. Singled on the infield in his last time up at bat. Bobby, one of those 61, 62 Yankees and 60 Yankees teams. Here's Alexander to Bobby Richardson. Richardson's up the middle. Pop Lloyd has it over to Johnson, over to Fox. Double play. And that's the end of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 6 complete, Mudville 9, Badville 3. So here we go. Wellsworth Gamer. Peter Channeling, what kind of cigar are you smoking when you win the league? And the Wellsworth Gamer says, sloppy pitching and fielding has killed the Sentimentals. So Beatles will have to agree with him. He says, Wellsworth Gamer, my pitching is the Achilles heel, my friend. Hawaii, Detroit, Manchester, and Jersey are the teams to watch. Yeah, right, Beatles. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, shocks is not working anymore. Oh, shocks. Oh, shocks. I can't even say it. You know what I mean. So Ryan's is fine, not according to the scoreboard. 7th inning, Keeler comes up. And Ryan strikes out Wee Willie Keeler. Now he's tired. Now what do I do? I would leave the AI if it's the case, but in this case, Ryan's is tired, so let's see what the AI does. I'll give him 1 pitch. Ryan's to tie Cobb. Cobb hits us to right field, and Rose has it. Why are they not changing Billy Ryan's? Because it's not close, I'll leave it as it is. Here's Pop Lloyd, 2 for 4. Lloyd laces this to center field, but Cool Papa has it. And that is a flyout, and that is the end of the inning. 7th inning stretch. Hey, he's back at the ball game as Beatles protests his innocence from the dugout. I would have to say, Beatles, that Manchester, yeah, I think will come good. My pitching's a bit worn out at the moment, truth be told. So I think we're a little bit out of sync. We've blown some games. Our offense is killer, I know that, and our fielding is actually pretty good. But the pitching has to come around. I might have to move Guy Hecker into the rotation, then we'll see things change. Greinke has been good. DeGrom has been disappointing so far. I think he'll even out. And I think the bats will come round. I'm pretty confident they'll come round. Anyway, I think Steve's team will even out. I think Jersey's kind of like my team. The teams teams I find to watch being serious are your team, I think Cleveland, and also Des Moines. I like Des Moines very much, particularly Frank Robinson. Here we go. Pete Alexander now up against Cool Papa Bell at the bottom of the 7th inning. Alexander pitching well. And Cool Papa hits us to left field. This is going back. Ruth going back. And Ruth has made a couple of catches out there in left field, testing his speed. But he catches up with that one, Babe. Very underwhelming to date. Crowd wanting to sign autographs at the fence. Still a big draw. There's Pete Rose 0 for 3 today. Rose will now break his duck, and that's another hit for Badlands. Their 10th hit of the day. They're actually out hitting Mudville. They just can't put it all together. Bad chemistry. Here's Lou Gehrig 1 for 2, batting .289. Here's the 3-0 to Gehrig, and Alexander loses Gehrig. So there's 2 men on for Badlands as they try and pull this back again. They have the power to do it. Here's Aaron Judge. Line to third in the 5th. Molina puts a sign down. Alexander kicks and fires. The 1-1. That one hit over the head of... No, Foster's going back enough to catch it, and that's another out for Badlands. They tend to leave men on base, so maybe it's the construction of their lineup. Pete Alexander waits patiently, robs the ball. Molina gets down into crouch position. Bryant waits. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Alexander. That's hit deep. Foster's on his pedal bike, going back. But caught at the fence. Chris Bryant gave that one a ride. And that is the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 7 complete, Mudville 9, Badlands 3. Ryan's has got to come out there. I don't know what's going on with Badlands at the moment. But I will make an executive decision. Beatles, if you don't mind. This is for the integrity of the league. And let's see who we could bring in. Not much. This is shocking. Badlands are really bad. So, Hal Haid, I'm sure we saw him the other day. Today is the 2nd of May. Everybody's pitched yesterday. Oh my God. Oh my life. This is bad. A trade coming up, I think. Hal Haid will have to come in. The best pitcher they could bring in. So Hal Haid coming in, a man we saw yesterday. And Hal Haid, look at him. Nobody knew much about him. 1928, Hal Haid's Sportsman's Park. Was he a Cardinal? Possibly. Let's look at Hal Haid on the interweb. Hal Augustine Hal Haid. Yes, he was a Cardinal. Of course he was. There we go. Haid looks in. Berra waits. Jimmy Fox at the plate. Up the middle. Valdez over to Gehrig. Got him. So the Fox there nearly got there. Not quite good enough. Hal Haid has got a 3.86 ERA. Has only pitched 4.2 innings with 2 hits. And 6 walks. And 6 Ks. There's the Bambino now. Waits patiently. Batting .244. Couple of practice swings. Babe, ready. Here's Haid. And the Bambino hits us onto right field. This might be. It is! Babe Ruth, finally. Show me some stuff, babe. So Babe Ruth takes this one out of here. And Beatles Eternally is grinning like a Cheshire cat in the dugout. He liked that one. All the Mudville Nines got out of the dugout and watched that one go. Babe Ruth coming home to some high fives. Getting some ribbon as he sits down. Fox hitting him on the back, and so is Darrell Evans. Here's George Foster 0 for 2. Haid looks in. Foster laces that one up the middle. Great diving play by Bobby Richardson. And over to Garrett, they get George Foster. Bobby Richardson showing some of that great defense there. 2 away. But Mudville have done some more damage with Babe Ruth. Hitting a home run to right field. Here's Feast or Famine. You know what I'm talking about. Darrell Evans. Here's Hand. Looks in. Barrett puts a sign down. Hand waits. Haid waits. Here's the pitch. Darrell Evans will just pop it up, probably going foul. Gehrig leaning over. Got him. Good play by Lou Gehrig. And that's the end of the inning. One hit, one run, one hit, no errors. So Mudville becoming one of my favorite teams to watch for Pop Lloyd. For who have I really enjoyed watching, actually? Ty Cobb I obviously enjoy watching. I do like Jimmy Fox as well, Willie Keeler. But Pop Lloyd is the one I'm enjoying watching at the moment. Here's Yogi Berra now stepping in. And there's a base hit. No! Good stop by Jimmy Fox. Berra's out of there. Bottom of the 8th, Turkey Mike Donlin now, batting 300. Here's Alexander, and Donlin hits this one to right field. Cobb going back. And Ty Cobb, what a catch by Ty Cobb. A leaping catch up against the wall by Ty Cobb. Rated a 9 in right field. Good play. Beatles, my God. Can't wait to play you again, actually. And that is an out. A big out. Nice one played by Ty Cobb. Yeah, Alexander there takes off his cap in the direction of Ty Cobb. Very unusual. Cobb stares impassively back at the pitcher. Typical Ty Cobb. The fans are booing Cobb down there, giving him a bit of hassle. He doesn't care. Here's the pitch to Valdez. Up the middle, and Valdez proving his value to Badlands. He strokes a single. So Badlands have a man on here in the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th. 2 men out. Here's Bobby Richardson, 2 for 3 today. Grounds it short in the 6th. Alexander, 113 pitches. Crafty Pete Alexander. Here's the 1-0, and Richardson up the middle for yet another base hit. His 3rd hit of the day. Bobby Richardson and Valdez will get to 3rd. Showing some spirit. Here's Cool Papa Bell, though. He's cooled up fast today. He's 0 for 4, 0 for 4. Molina steps out to Alexander, walks to the mound. Little conversation. Pop Lloyd will join him. Little conference in the middle of the park on the mound. Yadi seems satisfied and jogs back into position. Bell has the bat on his shoulder as he waits. Now we're ready. Molina puts the sign down. Alexander will come to the plate and lace down the 3rd baseline and beats Evans. So whatever they said did not work. Valdez and Richardson come home. Cool Papa Bell with a double and finally breaks out of his little slump. And the score is now 10-5 Mudville. Sentimentals don't go away. They've actually out-hit Mudville today. That brings up Pete Rose. Pete Rose 1 for 4. Man in scoring position in 2nd. Bell could steal here. I got a feeling Pete's going to do something good. If Beatles wants to change anything, let me know. No pink hand of distress. No fingers up. No hands up. Beatles is satisfied himself. Here we go. He satisfied himself that Pete Alexander's still out there. Rolls to right field. And Cobb has it, and another run scores. Poor Papa Bell comes home. And here we go, sentimentals. Beatles, would you like a change? Is the pink hand of distress up? We shall wait. So, looking back at the things here, the comments. Not yet, my friend, Beatles says. Jersey was hurt yesterday with men on. Yes, they were. Not yet, my friend. This is coming undone, world's worst gamer. You gotta be careful in this chat. It's coming undone can mean so many things. But I have to agree with you. Alexander now, just stalking the mound for the moment. Gary Hinstorm says he still stares in at Gehrig. Gehrig taking his time as he steps into the box. We walked twice now in the 5th and the 7th. Lou Gehrig batting 289, 5 home runs, 1918. But he's got a 35% chance of a hit. Oh, Clue. It's like the police. Here's Lou Gehrig now, waiting to see if he can do some damage to Mudville Nines. They only trail by 4, but there's a man on first. Alexander into his windup. And Garrick hits us to right field, but Cobb has this covered. That is the end of the 8th inning. Great play by Ty Cobb, who does a little pirouette, which gets more boos for the right field stance. They don't like him here in Badlands. They don't like him anywhere. Here we go. Hayes still on the mound for Badlands. The Badlands pitching stuff is dreadful. Dreadful. Here's Davey Johnson, been very good today. He's had 3 RBIs on the day, although he's 1 for 3. Hayes appears fine, steps on the rubber. Here comes the pitch, the 0-2. Johnson down the line to Chris Bryant. Bryant doesn't handle it. And Badlands, it's really painful to commentate on Badlands. Oh my. Johnson's at first. They're alright when they're hitting. It's the pitching and they're, It's like watching Arlington. Here we go. Yachty comes in now, batting 0 for 3. Here's Barrett behind the plate. He wants to speak to Hayde. Hayde is ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Yachty. Yachty down the line, and that's foul. Yachty Molina batting 258. 0 for 3 today. Great catcher. Easy as good as Josh Gibson, who threw out 4. Hayde is tired, but there's no one else. And there's a base hit down the left hand. No! Great stop by Bryant. Bryant gets to Richardson, and that's 1 away. If someone is watching and wants to get some offense, you only need to go to Badlands and see their bench. They have got Earl Averill, a name I remember. Good catcher. Center fielder, sorry. Kindle, Bill Kindle. Did you know the Kindle, Amazon Kindle, was not named after Bill Kindle? Negro League had never heard of him. Looks like a decent second baseman. They have got Bill Madlock, though. Sounds player, the Mad Dog. Pittsburgh Pirate and I believe Los Angeles Dodger. Sock Seabold. Well, nice player. Is that the real picture of Sock Seabold, though? He does look a little different than I expected. Who else they got? Deacon McGuire? Deacon McGuire, another catcher. And the dreaded Cap Anson. He's there. They have got some players. I mean, you know, who's this Arias fella? Louis Arias. Arias? Third baseman, modern player. Okay, so they have got somebody. Anyway, Hayden in now for Wee Willie Keeler. Top of the 9th inning. I digress. Here's the 1-2. And Wee Willie up the middle. Base hit. Molina's the second, Keeler at first. Hey, just taking up space here. Here's Ty Cobb. Collars up. Strides to the plate. He waits. Barrett puts a sign down. Here comes the pitch. Ty Cobb strokes it into right field, and Molina's going to come on. No, he won't take a chance on Pete Rose's 8 arm. Base hit full of 9s. I've said it a few times today. And the great Pop Lloyd steps in 2 for 5 today, batting .402. Fly to center in the 7th. Hayes steps in, ready. Lloyd digs in, ready. Berry is ready. Here we go. No. PQ River says, no, I've had enough. And he strides out to the mound to take the ball from Hayde. Trotting in from the bullpen is Whitey Glasner. So Whitey Glasner now pitching for Badlands. I don't see what difference it's going to make. Here he comes. Lloyd steps out of the box. Glasner is ready. Lloyd steps in. He's ready. Barrett's ready. Umpire's ready. Bases loaded, full of 9s. 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Mudville lead 10-6. Here we go. Here's the 3-1. And they won't pop Lloyd. And Molina will come home. So, wow. This is exhausting. See Badlands play. I need a drink. Here's Fox. There. Pull the picture. So I'll just read. Here, it's a crowded noise house in Badlands. So Beatles has put up the pink hand here. Miss Bermanisms. Yep, I love that. Bill Amazon Kindle. Too many great parts. Miss Berman was fantastic. I think we've grown up in an era where a lot of those broadcasters that we were familiar with all died now, sadly. But they were around from, say, 1920 or they were born maybe 1920s. And they were all gone by the time here we are in 2023. You know, you think about people I grew up with, even though I wasn't living in the US, I was very aware of them. People like Howard Cosell was the one I remember. Aaron with the Man of a Thousand Voices could do him. Beatles, you probably could too. He was good. I don't know if Al Michaels is still around. I like him. I do not like the guy from NBC. I find him very smarmy. He's the youngest of all of them. Bob Costas, I cannot stand him. Never have done. Don't know why, just don't like him. The guy I grew up with is Vince Scully, of course. Name I couldn't remember earlier. Ernie Harwell I know of now. I did not know him growing up at all, although I'd heard his voice. Harry Carey, loved Harry Carey. I know his son did it, Skip Carey, who died before him, sadly. Harry Carey was my favourite. Ralph Kiner, another one. These are my guys. Those guys in particular are my guys. Vince Scully lost his grace. So, closer in the knife, please, says Beatles Eternally. Cool. So, Glasner now, the new pitcher. Walked in a run here already. Here's Fox. 0 for 1. And Fox launches it to center field. Grand Slam salami. Jimmy Fox launches this out of here. Grand Slam, Grand Slam, Grand Slam. And the Boo Birds have come out. In fact, it's gone definitely quiet, actually. Here in the park, it is a home run. As we debated Jack Buck, Bub Prince, Red Bob, Vince Scully, Ralph Kiner. That one was for you. Double X Jimmy Fox Grand Slam. 378 feet. Cool Papa Bell could only run back, look up, and wish he was on that flight to Barbados. That one was gone in a hurry. Beatles Eternally showing some flair, power, panache, oomph. Wow. This one's it's exhausting watching Badlands, it really is. And after all of that, stepping to the plate, Babe Ruth. Hey, that's the truth. Here we go. Ruth 2 for 3. And Babe hits this one back. Against the wall. I thought that was gone. So the Babe warming up here as the Mudville Nines are making me very jealous. Still 15-6. I thought Clue took a shellacking. I am wrong. We'll see some great games though, broadcast. If you go back through the games, I remember seeing one, well, I can't remember, there's so many. I definitely remember watching one with World Worst Gamer recently, where it was Frank Robinson, who scored in the 9th. And it was amazing. I saw the Kenny Lofton one yesterday, was amazing. There's just so many. So here we go. Glasner now, who's been a disastrous reliever. George Foster 0 for 3, 226. Let's get this one over. And he strikes him out, so George Foster's out of there. 2 out now for the Mudville Nines. 15 runs. Yep, Steve could not do that. Evans 0 for 3. Feast or famine. That was a drive by him, and he gets a base hit. Ruth is coming around to score, and it's 16-6. Someone pass me a drink. Coming up now, Davy Johnson 2 for 4. I think everyone wants to pile into Badlands. The home run factor is right-handers get a 150% boost. The lefties get a 92% boost. We saw Josh Gibson hit home runs yesterday. Chris Bryant hit home runs yesterday, if I remember correctly. And we saw Kenny Lofton hit one over the Lifebuoy sign in right field. So Glasner now, not looking too good. Who is this guy? He needs to be down. Well, poor guy. Glasner, this guy here, Whitey Glasner, from 1921. Here's Davy Johnson to get this inning over. Let's go. Johnson hits this to Valdez. Valdez pumps his glove over to Richardson. Got him. So the end of the inning, and Pete Alexander is going to be taken out of there on the instructions of Beatles. Let me guess, Beatles. Rudy May. Seems to be your favourite, but he's tired. You might want to bring in Joe Nathan or Aroldis Chapman, but I'll let you decide. Beatles eternally taking his time as he takes the piss. Excuse my French. So he's waiting here. Poor PQ. PQ Ribber, if you do watch this back, I hope you get a chance to fix your team, especially your pitching. I've got some pitchers you might want. I've got Roger Clemens. I've also got Kurt Schilling. Great names. If any of you saw the show, the league, Fancy F-Ball, you know what Sacco Bowl was. We need a Sacco this league, so we have an end of year best of 17 Badlands and Arlington. So, coming out of the bullpen, as World's Worst Gamer shouts, "Don't waste a pitcher!" Aroldis Chapman is coming in. I want to get it over too. Jeez, this is awful. Battering. It's horrible when it's a blowout. Here we go. Here's Aaron Judge, 1 for 4. Aroldis Chapman drops in from the bullpen. Aroldis has only pitched 1 inning so far, really. Bit of an adventure. 2 strikeouts and 3 walks. But here we go. Man who can throw serious fire. Aaron Judge, 1 for 4. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. So there's Mr. Good Morning. And comes Chris Bryant, 1 for 4, batting .282. Chapman goes into his windup. Here's a 2-1. Smack to left field. Base hit Chris Bryant. So Chapman takes a little bit of a bruising to his ego. Brings up Yogi Berra, 1 for 4. Chapman into his windup. Here's the 1-1. Yogi hits this to Davey Johnson. Johnson can only get 1. Bumps over to Fox, and that's 2 away. Yogi not quick enough. Jimmy Fox had a starring role in this game so far. Bryant is over to second. It's Badlands take yet another beating. Chapman looks in. Looks over at second. Here's the windup. Molina came out to check it just before the windup. Here's the windup. And he walked on it. So not impressive by Aroldis Chapman, who wants to extend the fun. So here's Rodrigo Valdez batting .286, Rogelio Valdez, as this game is longing to get over and done with. Chapman into his windup. Here's the 1-0. Down the line to Evans. Evans has it over to Johnson. Game over. Game over. Mudville puts a shellacking on Badlands, 16-6. Wow. Wow. Look at that scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. We won't dwell on it. We can already rub it into PQ River. Pete Alexander goes to 4-1. Ryans goes to 0-4. Babe Ruth broke out today, 3 for 4 with a home run. Jimmy Fox went 2 for 5 with a towering grand slam. And Pop Lloyd. So again, Beatles eternally showing no signs of cooling off here, as a team of all-stars really is gelling. That great defense up the middle with Pop Lloyd and Davey Johnson and Yadier Molina. And they've got some excellent right field in Ty Cobb. So, no stolen bases. 19 left on base. Well, you know, PQ Rivers team, 15 hits. They weren't that bad. In fact, they out-hit Beatles team. But left 20 on base. But look at the difference in the score. Alexander went 8 hits with 14 hits. 8 innings pitched. Gave up 14 hits, but only gave up 5 earned runs. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference. So we'll close out the day. We've learned something about the league file today in this exciting league, and we'll play out the rest. So, Manchester at Des Moines. Wait a second. Was that the last game? Yes, it was. Thought I missed out there. So we'll just play out Monday the 4th. Manchester, Des Moines. I don't think you're coming on later, Beatles. Oh, for God's sake. Sorry if I'm blaspheming. Des Moines beat Manchester 6-5. Tanana versus Lincecum. Hawaii smashed Jersey. Sorry, Clue. You and I are in the doldrums, man. Arlington, Gooden versus Blue. Detroit take down Arlington 8-3. I'll show the box scores in a second. And Cleveland take down Northside. Look at the league table. Detroit ahead of everyone else. 14-6. Hawaii and Mudville a game and a half back. And everyone else is roughly around the 500 mark. North Sound, Des Moines, Cleveland, Manchester, Jersey. Bringing up the rear though, Badlands and Arlington. So just going to look forward to the league next, what's going to be played next. I'm not going to do this now because I need a drink after that one. And I will choose next between today and tomorrow. Jersey, Hawaii looks good. I will not watch a Badlands game again. Mudville Badlands game again. So what I'll do is, I don't think, is Steve coming on tonight? So what I'll do is I'll hand it over into the Discord just in case Steve needs to. Steve's not as busy. But just a quick look at the scorecards here. See if Steve can bring some bad luck to Detroit. Steve's team, the Detroit Coyotes, lead 14-6. Hawaii 12-7. Mudville 13, and looking good, Mudville. The rest of us are all hanging around the 500 mark. Shocking, Manchester, shocking. I think we're really missing Chicky Star. Ted Williams is leading the league in RBIs. Manchester in fielding, but not hitting. Nothing changes here, it doesn't look like. Juan Soto, wow, he's killing it for Hawaii. Pop Lloyd, on the other hand, is also killing for Mudville. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Beatles, I have to ask you a question. So, when it comes out, we're talking about baseball, the Mega Baseball 4. When does it come out? Is it early June? I can't even wait. I had so much fun with Mega 3 before I met you guys. And I was playing around with the Negro Leagues then, trying to get something to look like what a Negro League would look like. What I love about it is that you can create as many teams as you want. The editing in there is superb. I need to find a community, I guess, where you can download the uniforms. There are so many uniforms you can make anyway. What I love creating is the fictional characters. So, I missed one game. Okay, let's go back a tick. I think that last game lulled me into a state of lost focus. Yes, there is. Oh, it would be Mudville. I so didn't want to see it. Here we go. Mudville, KC versus Guidry. And Badlands beat Mudville. Just check box. Yep, you were right. Thank God. So Mudville take a loss. Doesn't really hurt them that much. But it was against Badlands. You don't lose against Badlands, do you? Box scores. Very quick. Babe Ruth with another home run. He's heating up. Good start by Badlands, and Mudville tied at the end of 3. But then the bullpen might have let you down, but 1-1. Badlands will score. They can hit. But you're hitting much better than Badlands, that's for sure. Garrick went 1 for 2 with a home run. Pete Rose 2 for 3. So Badlands have some offense. It's the pitching. Gator Guidry went 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 3 earned runs. Casey didn't have his stuff today. Yeah, but he gave up 5 earned runs and 8 hits. In terms of the MVP was Lou Gehrig, the Iron Man, the Iron Horse himself. Quick look through the box scores. Manchester playing well below par in my opinion, but maybe because I hyped them up so much. Mantle went 3 for 3. Williams went 1 for 4. Tucker went 1 for 2 in a loss. Hiller took the loss late. Bullpen issues. See? Good Lord, whose fault was it this time? Please tell me it wasn't Efrod. No, it was Hiller. Marichal went 12 hits. But the winners, you have to give credit to one, and no joke. No joke at all. Renteria is a tough player. Helton batting 351. Pitching for Des Moines. Mort Cooper was knocked out early. But Gary Peters in relief. Looking good. Followed by the Negro Leaguer Bullet Joe Rogan. my offense just to have a quick look, see what's going wrong there. Because something's going wrong. Joe Morgan needs to come out, man. He's just not doing it. That's all it takes. Just one guy not to bring it. A-Rod, funny enough, is not playing as well as he normally does. So I made my mind up. Joe Morgan's going to have to come out. Not yet, though. We need to establish a rule as to when we submit league files, I think. Now that we've settled the league files, maybe it's once a week, maybe on Friday night. So you put your manager changes in. It'll only be fair, because if I change mine now, that'll be unfair. And maybe just once a week, maybe on Saturday, maybe? You guys let me know, or we'll discuss it in the Discord. So, that is it, guys. Looking forward to Beatles' new channel. And if you want to catch other games, tune into Beatles Eternal's channel or Steve Tate's channel. So that is it from me, MV. I'm going to settle down and watch whatever is happening. Beatles, June the 2nd, I think it is, called The Big Clue. What is Diablo 4 anyway? Beatles is already ringing in sick with his sick note. What is Diablo 4? I'm going to have to give that a butcher's hook on Steam. Yeah, Morgan and Diageo are definitely hurting my team for sure. You know, Manchester just... I'm not unhappy completely because we are losing Chick Stoll for a little bit. The problem is replacing him. Pitching's always bad in Manchester. But in terms of who's hitting, yeah, Joe Morgan, a quick look at his stats, replay, if this is correct. Not convinced it is. He's batting 203 versus righties. Not looking good. If I go averages, Ripper Collins off to a good start. Tommy Tucker's good. Ted Williams is good. Cecil only platoons. Mickey Mantle's good. Schmidt, about average. I don't expect to do that well. He's a good fielder though. Elmer, do well. Alex Rodriguez is way below par. He normally plays very well in this league. Maybe he's just going to warm up soon. So anyway, that is the end of the stream. Thank you very much to the likes of Beatles Daily. I'm going to look up AOW4. What the hell is that? And Diablo 3 or 4. And see what that is all about. Is that a space game? Is that one of those... I know, Beatles, you like your fantasy games. You know, the old Dungeons and Dragon type things. I still haven't even played the Elder Scrolls yet. And now that I've got a spanking new PlayStation 5, maybe I'll pick something up, a cheaper version of that game on the cheap. What I love about the PS5 is that you can play the old games on there as well, like from your PS4. I think all of them. There may be even some PS3 games. And as a PS4 Plus person, I can get more games on the cheap. Thank you, Beatles Eternally. I tried my best. That game was hard, man. Great to watch for you, I guess, because you were smashing them all over the place. But to see two blowouts in the same day, wow. That's all I can say. Kenny Lofton looks like he needs a little bit of a run out. I may have to fit him in somehow. He hit that great home run yesterday, didn't he? A moment of genius from the AI after a certain bit. Although I did actually bring him in, to be fair. I'm quietly confident in Manchester. I just need to make one little adjustment. And that is bring in Hacker into the rotation. Hacker's not been used yet. He is the secret weapon of my team. So I stay at 500 for the first month and then unleash the whirlwind of Hacker. Beatles, you said your bullpen wasn't great. I'll just end it now on this note to see if Beatles is giving me one of those awe shocks moment. Rudy May's your ace, actually. Good. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, Dark Fantasy Game is what Beatles is into. APRG, so that's that role-playing game. And Diablo 4 is coming out PC. So I'll have a look. I'm not into fantasy games. Yeah, Ken Castro. Yeah, the beatdowns are horrible, aren't they? Badlands may be off the schedule for a while. No offense to PQ River there. Right, great. So thank you very much to Beatles Eternally, Ken Castro, Big Clue, World's Worst Gamer. Thank you for the support, World's Worst, coming in and adding some extra flavour. Who else was there? There's loads of people came in at different points. those are the ones I remember. And looking through the list, thank you to all. Keep supporting the Howie Shanks Bingo League. Steve was in earlier as well. A couple of randoms came in as well who I don't know. But thank you very much. So I look forward to beaters. I don't know if you're doing more on your day off or Steve is doing more on his time out. But I'll hand the league back to you. If I don't see you doing it, I'll just pick up the baton anyway. But you know what to do now. Just have to download your photos and you're good. Everything should carry over. Thanks for spotting that little bit where I might have missed a game, but I caught it right at the end. Thank you very much. Until next time, I might see you online later on, but right now I'm going to have some dinner. Over in the UK, it's now 8:12. All right, see you all. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Take care, Worlds. Take care, Beatles. Take care, guys. More baseball later. I look forward to it. I'll send this on to you. Ta-da!